Okay, so I really like this question because I think there's a lot of variety to the answer. So my first thought is finding reasons to be joyful. So my son has been enjoying Keyshawn Solves It, which is a kids podcast about kids getting ready to celebrate Juneteenth and they solve a mystery. But they talk about in it that we can have joy and sadness. Our sadness doesn't need to take away our joy. And I think that's true for any sort of unpleasant feeling we may be having. We can still have joy. We need joy to have a reason to push through. People that are joyless, there's not going to be a reason to push through. There's not going to be anything to sort of work for or towards. The other piece is to have hope, find reasons to have hope. Maybe it's focusing on the news stories where certain people are losing in the court system, all the protests that are happening, various sort of wins that are happening across the system where people are standing up and fighting back and making progress, or signs that this administration is already may or may not be doing so hot. People might not think they're doing so great, right? That can give us sort of hope for the future, right? Thinking of the town halls that AOC and Bernie Sanders are holding, where lots of people are coming in very what we would consider red places. Those may be reasons that we have hope. Another one is managing feelings of helplessness. And so that may be being more politically involved than we've been before. Maybe that's calling representatives. You can use the Five Calls app. You just put in your zip code and that'll tell you who they are and how to contact them. It'll give you scripts for particular issues that you may want to contact them about. So if you are like, I don't know what to say, they will tell you what you could say. Obviously, you can change it as needed, but it gives you a starting point. If you have social anxiety, they have voicemail, so you can call at like 8 or 9 at night. No one is going to be there to answer. You can just leave your voicemail. I saw one suggestion of sending lots of physical mail. Not only would this help USPS, if we are in support of them, which I personally am, but if you too would like to support them, sending lots of physical mail because they have to process it. And so if they get lots more mail, it's going to cause them lots of chaos. And that's kind of fun. Maybe it's actually going to a protest. Maybe it's getting things for protesters. Maybe you pass out bottles of water to them or pass out snacks. Um, Maybe it is becoming involved with local issues and local organizations, focusing on sort of ground level things, grassroots, those types of things. It may also be, really examining where you're spending your money. Have your money do more talking and make sure it aligns with your values better than maybe you have before. There may not be a ton of flexibility for you. If you live in a food desert or you live in a rural community where you have very limited options about where you can go to buy things, maybe you focus more on what brands are within the store. So you're putting your money to specific brands versus other ones, even if you still have to go to this one store that you may not really wish that you were supporting. Maybe it's working to figure out that, maybe you get rid of your Amazon Prime, but you work out where are you going to get these things from that you've been getting from Amazon, and then you cancel your Prime account. It can be things like that. It can be making sure that you are reaching out to people in your community, just showing one another support and care. Again, we want reasons for us to want to engage, and that's going to be other people. It's going to be caring for other people. You may set up a free little library in your area if you can, or have small necessities available to people, right? Small toothpaste, feminine products, whatever. So people can be taken care of if needed. Maybe it's working with different food banks, because those may be getting used more in the future. And the beautiful thing is that you can always change your mind about how you want to show up. You were never locked in if something else kind of shows up as an option where you're like, oh, that seems really, that speaks to me a lot. And we can always have variety. And so, again, we want to have reasons to have joy. We want to find joy where we can. And we want to, mentally highlight it. right? One way is to talk about what are you grateful for? Why do you have feelings of gratitude? Those may be things that bring you joy. But we want to have joy, we want to have hope, and we want to manage feelings of helplessness. If we do those, and we focus and connect with other people who also want a better world, that can help us manage the next 4 years, 3 years. God, how much time do we have left even? Maybe you have a countdown so you can remember, because clearly I can't.